Just because they are in church does not mean they are in Christ.
We're currently following up on two important stories right now. One in Elgeyo Marakwet, where our very own Timothy Kipnusu will be updating us following the tragic loss of dozens following the landslide that was witnessed in that part of the country. We'll be getting more from our very own Kipnusu in just a moment. But also here in the capital, we want to see if the over 40-day strike that persisted between the Dons and the Ministry of Education as well as the Treasury will come to an end today, given that right now they're in a closed-door meeting with Wasu Kusu Kudeha officials with the CS of Education. Let's see if they will be able to reach an agreement by the end of the day, given that the students have not been able to learn for over 40 days now. But in connection to that, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Buddy has urged the striking university lecturers to take the available 50% of the funds they are owed by the government and resume teaching. Buddy says the remaining 50% will be paid up in the next financial year. The lecturers are demanding to be paid all their dues totaling to 7.9 billion shillings and have rejected the proposal to pay them in two phases.
I would advocate or request that they accept the 50%. If anything, by July next year, when we start a new financial year, we'll be at 100% implementation. So I just want to plead with them that let them accept 50% now, because we are just at supplementary budget. We are supplementing. Supplementary budget is supplemental. So it's not another budget. Let them take 50%, then another 50% in July, and we'll be at 100%. It may appear like it's not a lot of money, my friend. Even if you add 1 billion in the budget, you can change the budget deficit percentage from 4.8 to 4.9, and that has implications. We can move from 4.9 to 5%. If you are not working with the budget figures and our fiscal framework, you may not understand and appreciate some of these things that we talk about.
Still with the Treasury Chief, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Buddy says the government is committed to modernizing Kenya Broadcasting Corporation KBC through funding to enable it to fulfill its mandate as the state broadcaster. Speaking exclusively to Channel 1, Buddy said the government will facilitate KBC's live coverage of all AFCON matches scheduled for next month in Morocco, the World Cup slated for mid-next year, and the 2027 AFCON tournament that Kenya will host with Uganda and Tanzania.
We need to appreciate as a government and as a people that every country must have a national broadcaster. And for us, the national broadcaster is KBC. And so it is the responsibility of the government. A national broadcaster everywhere doesn't operate on its own by making, they can't be fully commercially viable and reliant. So there is need for government intervention, which we are already giving, but not in the level that would support a national broadcaster fully. So in my discussion with the management, we have looked at the areas where there are gaps. There are certain immediate actions like there is plan to broadcast and participate in AFCON, which we have a direct interest. Remember, the next AFCON after this will be held in Nairobi or in Kenya. So we must clearly broadcast to our people, and you know how what the role of sport in terms of maintaining our youth, and peace and stability in the country. So there is need to give some financial support for coverage of AFCON and also the World Cup, which is coming next year, mid-next year. But besides that, there is a general view. First, the funding for salaries, I can see there is a clear shortfall. The management is unable to meet some statutory deductions and meet some O&M. But again, also, we need to modernize KBC. So I've asked them to put a formal request to the government, write directly to us, so that we can see how to facilitate and support KBC.
Also, the government is empowering Kenyans in the diaspora to thrive and contribute to the national growth. President William Ruto says the government has streamlined diaspora services, reduced the passport processing time from 3 months to just 3 days for those with job offers, and is facilitating their travel to take up those opportunities. Ruto spoke in Doha, Qatar during an engagement with the Kenyan diaspora community on the sidelines of the United Nations Social Development Summit.
Lines of the United Nations Social Development Summit held in Doha, Qatar, President William Ruto engaged the Kenyan diaspora community. Here, the head of state reiterated the government's commitment to safeguarding Kenyan workers seeking employment beyond the borders with the closure and deregistration of more than 600 rogue labor agencies. Deployment is now limited to countries with formal bilateral labor agreements with Kenya.
The Diaspora Department has created a better relationship between Kenyans in diaspora and Kenyans back at home.
The government is at the same time pursuing new agreements to secure skilled and professional job opportunities for Kenyans abroad, enabling the youth to access better paying roles, gain advanced skills and bring valuable experience back home.
I am prepared to see what additionally we can do to better the engagement, to do what we are doing in a better way to serve you better.
We are not asking to be remembered. We are asking to be included. We are not asking for favors. We are offering partnership. We are not just Kenyans abroad. We are Kenya abroad.
Kenyans in diaspora chairperson Dr. Omar Farah called on the government to continue safeguarding the welfare of Kenyans seeking employment overseas. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Kenya has reaffirmed its commitment to eradicating poverty and hunger through the expansion of key social protection programs. Speaking during a side event at the Global Alliance Leaders Summit on financing for the fight against hunger and poverty held alongside the World Social Development Summit in Doha, Qatar, Principal Secretary for Social Protection and Senior Citizen Affairs Joseph Motari announced the scaling up of the Economic Inclusion Program from 5 pilot counties to 20 counties nationwide. Motari said the expansion marks a major milestone in the government's effort to empower vulnerable households and enhance community resilience.
The government of Kenya has also developed the Enhancing Registry and expanded the Social Registry, which currently hosts data for over 4.4 million vulnerable households, representing an estimated 17 million individuals. This registry collects, updates and links data on vulnerable persons and households, enabling programs to effectively identify and provide services to beneficiaries. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Kenya remains committed to enhancing partnerships. So far, Kenya has collaborated with multi and bilateral agencies to co-finance programs, share knowledge and technical expertise, and reduce risk in implementation.
Unpaid domestic and care work contributes an estimate of 2.54 trillion to the economy, equivalent to about 23.1% of the country's gross domestic product. This is according to a new report by the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics. The study, developed in partnership with the State Department for Gender and Affirmative Action, UN Women and Statistics Sweden, recognizes the immense yet often invisible contribution of households and caregiving tasks, most of which are are performed by women. The Kenya National Bureau of Statistics says the findings reaffirm the government's commitment to recognizing, reducing and redistributing unpaid care work as part of efforts to promote gender equality and build a more inclusive workforce.
Unpaid domestic and care work has been treated as a natural private responsibility rather than a productive economic activity. Yet, this is the sector that provides the foundation upon which all the economic activities rely on.
State Department, we have committed to ensure that in our economic planning, we are going to factor in, and the key recommendation that came out is that the GDP, when we are doing calculation, unpaid work will also be used to calculate the GDP.
Now to one of our top stories this afternoon. We want to take you to Elgeyo Marakwet, where we're being joined by our very own Timothy Kipnusu, given that the death toll yesterday increased about to 34 people who are still missing following that particular tragic incident. And of course, the operations are still ongoing. But let's get more from our very own Timothy Kipnusu. Kipnusu, if you can hear me, good afternoon. What is the update you have for us? The death toll rose to 34 following the operation that is being spearheaded by security operators. I do hear we have Timothy. Timothy, good afternoon. Tell us more. What updates do you have from Elgeyo?
A very good afternoon to you, my colleague Abdiaziz Hashim there at the broadcasting house in the capital, Nairobi. Yes, indeed, just as you mentioned, I'm coming to you live from Elgeyo Marakwet County, a county that is in mourning following the Friday tragedy that has struck, which has so far claimed the lives of 35 people after one more person was retrieved this early morning here at the scene where the tragedy occurred. The Kenya Red Cross, as well as the team from rescue team from the Kenya Defence Forces, as well as the Kenya National Youth Service, have been burning a midnight oil just to ensure that the rescue operation is successful, or rather seamless. And I've made to understand from the Red Cross team that 19 more bodies are still missing, and the search continues. Just to paint a picture of this particular tragedy, of course, as you mentioned, we expect a prayer service for the victims to be led by the Catholic Diocese Archbishop Dominic Kimengich, and we expect a number of leaders to be here. Yesterday, a number of leaders who are here from neighboring counties standing in solidarity, mourning with this particular county. We had the governor of West Pokot, of course, a number of leaders from Uasin Gishu County, Baringo, and Trans Nzoia. Just to paint a picture, as I mentioned, I'm joined by one person just to tell us about the incident Karibia hapa. He lost his kin, and he's here. The Red Cross team has come here, as you've seen behind me, of course, just to give psychosocial support to the victims. Come closer here. Tueleze jina lako na pengine umekuwa hapa kwa muda gani ukitafuta mpendo wako?
Kwa majina naitwa Emmanuel Kemboi, natoka Kwenoi village, Chesongoi Sanda. Niko hapa kwa muda wa siku 4 kumtafuta mamangu na wachomba wangu watatu, na bado sijafanikiwa mpaka wa leo. Naomba serikali na shirika mbalimbali wanisaidie kupata wachomba wangu na mama wangu, ili moyo iridhike tupate tushike kama wale wengine. Aswa piti sote zimehadiriwa, hatuna mahali pa kulala, hatuna chakula. Naomba serikali watusaidie mpaka wa sasa.
Thank you and sorry for that. Karibu sana mama ambaye pia vile amepoteza mpendo wake. Tueleze jina lako, naona kwamba uko pale ukisubiria uweze kupata majibu kutoka kwa wale ambao wanaendelea katika harakati hii. Tueleze umempoteza nani na umekuwa hapa kwa muda gani?
Asante. Niko
anza kwa majina.
Kwa majina ni Rose Koskei, natoka Kumnai, kwangu ni Kumnai, kwetu ni Chesongoch. Mali tumepoteza watu, nimepoteza mama. Mama alikuwa na mjukuu yake, mjukuu alipatikana na mama hajapatikana mpaka saa hii. Ndio niko na mastuko kwa moyo wangu. Niseme wacha Mungu atende mema, wacha hii watu wetu ile bati chaonekana ionekane siku ya leo. Ndio moyo ikue, moyo itulie kabisa, moyo itulie. Asante. Naomba serikali atusaidie kwa nafaka mbalimbali, serikali mtusaidie. Asante.
Tunatumai kwamba kilio chako kitasikizwa. That's one woman also who lost her mother in this particular tragedy, and I'm joined by a survivor of this particular incident. Just also to paint a picture, tueleze, or you just tell us about this particular incident and how it occurred. Where were you at that time?
Thank you, members of the media. My name is Joseph Kipkeo, a survivor of this Friday disaster. I lost my mother, Plomena Tula Kirotich. I lost my mother, Plomena Tula Kirotich. But above all, I want to thank God for those who have survived. Yes, there are a number of people who are at large still missing, but God knows everything. I just want to thank all Kenyans for supporting this disaster. Kenyans for Kenyans. We don't take it for granted for your support. Number two, we are not living in denial. If I may remember the quote from environmentalist Professor Wangari Maathai, who once said, destroy nature and nature will destroy you. It has come to reality to us, the residents of Kerio Valley. Let us conserve environment. In this area, we are in Kerio Valley. Kerio Valley comprises of the valley, the hanging valley, and the island. And we should not live in denial that this disaster is related with the human activities along the escarpment. This informs us that the government and other development partners should come up with a master plan so that we can have a long-term solution on how to conserve the environment.
Thank you very much.
I also want to repeat that I was once a humanitarian worker facilitating humanitarian support. Little did I know that even a time will come when I will also be a victim to be supported by humanitarian assistance.
Very sorry for that loss. There you have it, very somber mood here. A number of victims just trying to come to terms with the loss of their loved ones. And of course, a powerful message there that let's conserve our environment, because this particular issue has happened because of human activities along the Kerio Valley. Earlier on, my colleague Abdiaziz, I had a one-on-one with the former assistant minister who served in Kibaki's tenure, and of course the former member of parliament for this particular area, that is Lina Jebi Kilimo, and he underscored the need of fast-tracking the Embabut task force, which its aim was to ensure that those people living along the Kerio Valley or the flood-prone areas are relocated to more safer areas. So we'll be here keeping tabs on what will be happening, and we'll be able to update our viewers. Yesterday, the government deployed or scaled up the rescue efforts by deploying the sniffer dogs just to ensure that the survivors or those who are still missing are being retrieved from the debris. From me, Timothy Kipnusu, I hand you back to studio. Abdiaziz Hashim.
Well, thank you so much, Timothy Kipnusu, for that particular update. If you're just joining us, Timothy has just informed us that the death toll in the Elgeyo Marakwet mudslide has increased to 35 after one more body was recovered this morning, and 19 people are still missing. A story that we're keeping an eye on and will inform you in our subsequent bulletins. To more news now. A dispute has erupted in Kiambu County over the expansion of Ruiru Vocational Training Center. The residents accusing some government officials of sabotaging the project. Construction workers at the site within Githunguri Ranching Primary School were briefly arrested before being released. Area MCA Kimani Wanduta blamed certain leaders and national officials of opposing the county-funded project, which includes plans for a Cabro block making plant on a 2-acre piece of land. He also accused MPs of undermining county projects for political gain, while the National Lands Commission NLC was faulted for taking sides. Deputy County Commissioner Julia Storr said the NLC is reviewing the boundary dispute among the involved institutions.
Hao vijana ni watu wako na familia. Kijana mmoja akiwa kazi hapa ako na bibi na ako na watoto wake. Kwa hivyo idadi ya watu ambao watakuwa wanapata riziki na chakula kutoka kwa mradi huu sio vijana hao 100 peke yake, bali ni familia zao.
Watoto wetu wamepotelea kwa madawa, kwa bangi na pombe imejaa sana hapa. Kwa hivyo saa ile tunaona tumeletewa kitu ya kusaidia watoto wetu, tunafurahi.
Hii itafaidia watu wengi sana na insecurity itakuwa imerudi chini juu watu watakuwa busy. Hakuna mahali unaweza toka hapa umechoka kutengeneza kabros alafu jioni goje mtu ndivyo umnyang'anye. Tunataka maendeleo ikuje. Tunataka hawa youth wote, na ukiangalia hata nyuma yetu kuna wamama wako pale bado wanataka kazi.
Parents and guardians are being urged to continuously mentor their children, discover their talents and make career choices. Murang'a County CEC of Finance, Professor Kari Mora, said unlocking the potential of young ones play a vital role in shaping their future and preparing them for a start to their career lives. He spoke when he presided over the graduation ceremony at the Sunrise Royal Academy in Githunguri, Kiambu County.
As mentors, we have a duty to make sure that what our kids have, the unique talents that they have, that they don't know, we are the ones to call out those unique abilities and let them know that they have those unique abilities. It is during these formative stages ndio mnaform mtu mwenye anakuja hapa nje kufanya kazi. It is important that you are in this stage, hapa kwa hii stage ya hawa watoto, you play a key role kama mzazi, kwa sababu kesho huyu mtoto ni yeye atakuwa MCA, ni yeye atakuwa MP, ni yeye atakuwa governor.
Elsewhere, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that is the IEBC, has reiterated the placement of stringent measures to curb animal practices during the ongoing voter registration exercise ahead of the general election in 2027. Speaking in Mombasa County during a youth sensitization forum organized by Amnesty International, the chair, Ethekon, called on Kenyans to have faith in the electoral body and shun political rhetoric that could discourage voter registration and participation, sentiments echoed by Vocal Africa Director Khalid Hussein, who pledged to mobilize the youth to register as voters.
We've put in as a commission measures to ensure that the old practice where some politicians will come and collect your IDs and then transfer you without your knowledge to another polling station, that has stopped. Because we will require you, when you want to do it yourself, you have to put your fingerprint to our KIMS kit or the biometric machine to ensure that you validate that transfer. But when you hear some of these comments attributed to some politicians outside there that, you know, they will rig, they will ensure the staff, the ballot boxes, they will do that, I would treat that as something that's of course not acceptable, irresponsible, something that is meant to make citizens lack confidence in our electoral system and therefore not even show up, not even turn up to vote. We need to have faith in our electoral system, in our electoral management body, which is IBC, which I chair.
The biggest challenge that we have, youth thinking and believing that their single votes will not make a difference. And that is what we want to urge the youth out there. Your single vote matters.
Now, a couple in Kiambu County who for days were engulfed in anxiety and fear over a suspected baby swap incident are all smiling and breathing a sigh of relief after final reports confirmed that the baby girl indeed belongs to them. Speaking at the Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, Medical Superintendent Dr. Penina Mwikali confirmed the couple had been subjected to DNA testing after they questioned the gender of the baby following incorrect information earlier relayed to the husband at the time of delivery. Dr. Mwikali says that the investigations are now officially closed and both a mother and a child are in stable condition. The case had attracted public attention after the two raised an alarm that their child may have been swapped at birth at the hospital.
Tukafanyiwa test, result zikatoka, mtoto akawa ni wetu. Sasa tumeridhika, tunaenda nyumbani tulee mtoto na upendo.
Tunaenda kulea mtoto wetu tukiwa na furaha kubwa sana juu tumegundua mtoto alikuwa wetu.
And we are happy to say that the case is now closed because we have been able to the satisfaction of everyone, been able to get a good conclusion of the matter.
The government has reaffirmed its commitment to maintaining and strengthening the long-standing diplomatic relations between Kenya and Algeria built on shared values of Pan-Africanism, mutual respect and cooperation. Speaking during the commemoration of the 71st anniversary of the Algerian Liberation Revolution, Principal Secretary for Trade Regina Umbam noted that the two nations continue to deepen collaboration in trade, investment, education, energy and diplomacy, underscoring a shared vision for a united and prosperous Africa. She further noted the part of enhancing bilateral relations, the inaugural Joint Commission of Cooperation between Kenya and Algeria will be held in Nairobi from November 17th to 21st, 2025. The meeting will focus on advancing partnership across the sectors and is expected to conclude several memoranda of understanding to boost mutual growth and development.
Investment, education, energy, and multilateral diplomacy. The JCC will also witness the conclusion of Memorandum of Understanding and provide renewed impetus to the effective implementation of existing bilateral agreements. It represents a key step forward in institutionalizing our cooperation and unlocking opportunities for mutual growth and development.
That takes us to a first breather. Don't go too far. Business and sports is up next.
This opportunity to welcome all Kenyans and our international visitors to the third edition of the Ma Cultural Week celebration that happens annually. This year's motto is promoting Ma cultural expressions for socio-economic development. And the venue is slated for Amboseli National Park in Kajiado County. And it is an all-system go. All the preparations are on course. This is supported by our county governments and the national government as well. And we'll be hosting, the president will be attending the occasion. So we welcome you, Kenyans and our international visitors to Amboseli to celebrate with us the iconic Ma culture.
This year, we're going to celebrate our Ma culture in Kajiado at Amboseli National Reserve, promoting Ma cultural expression for socio-economic development.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Kijo Ma Sintai Orgeretilang. Karibuni wote.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
The Far East, the Middle East, the West, and even the African continent, all are welcome. Ma Sintai Orgeretilang. Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, Mandera County Governor Mohammed Khalif has pledged to reduce the maternal mortality rate in the region to 0. Speaking to Channel 1, Governor Khalif said his administration has made significant progress in reducing the maternal mortality rate in the last 3 years. He further said that his administration will put in place modern new renal units in all 6 sub-county hospitals to decongest Mandera Level 5 Hospital. Here is Governor Mohammed Khalif live from Mandera County.
Which is Mandera County Teaching and Referral Hospital, and then the 7 sub-county referral hospitals. For that, what we did was we upgraded all our sub-county referral hospitals to level 4. And then the Mandera County Referral Hospital then to level 5, and then registered as even a training center, because we have recently opened our MTC, Mandera Medical Training College. So we have Mandera County Referral Hospital now is a teaching county referral hospital and upgraded to level 5. So in Mandera County Referral Hospital, we have realized there are several gaps in terms of infrastructure. So one thing we did was we have specialists who are about 16 of them, but they never had designated clinics to work for the people of Mandera. So we decided to build or refurbished administration blocks, used to be administration blocks, and turn it to a clinic, as a modern clinic center, where we're going to have about 7 specialists attending to Mandera people on a daily basis. We have also launched a modern, state-of-art dental department, fully equipped. We have also upgraded our renal department. We bought 5 new renal machines, and we are waiting for another 5 so that we can separate the female patient and the male patient, and patient with chronic diseases. By the time we came in, or about 2024, several equipment that we procured by the MOH and MES, the one they call medical equipment services, was actually becoming obsolete, all those machines. And the vendors actually terminated their services because the agreement between them and the Ministry of Health actually was not renewed. So we had a lot of challenges in the areas of equipment. So we decided as a county to invest seriously in equipment and replace most of those equipment. A good example is we have replaced our scanning machine in Mandera at Mandera County Referral Hospital. We are also installing MRI. The structure is almost 95% complete. The machine is already in Nairobi. Through NESP, we're going to install MRI at Mandera County Referral Hospital for the first time. And our people from this region, or the people of Mandera County, used to travel 1,000 kilometers.
Now, our reporter Adan Ibrahim is following on that particular story and will brief us in our subsequent bulletins. To more news now, the body of Francis Moshiri, a pupil at Ngarashi Comprehensive School in Laikipia County, was retrieved on Tuesday night after being swept away by strong currents. A 13-year-old grade 7 pupil drowned while attempting to cross the flooded Ngarashi River in Maramnet Ward, Laikipia County. Confirming the incident, Nyahururu Sub-County Police Commander Joseph Matiko said the body was found trapped in nearby bushes. Residents are now appealing for swift government intervention to avert a further loss of lives as heavy rains continue to pound the region.
Wanavuka bila kuangalia ama bila kuwa waangalifu, sababu mtu akiangalia hii maji anaweza fikiria ni kidogo, lakini iko na uzito.
Tukirudi ndio tulipata ajali. Ni hata mimi nilikuwa nimebebwa na maji nikajiokoa. Yeye akashindwa kujiokoa.
Ile madaraja yenye imetengenezwa na wazazi, zile tunaita makeshift, ni wasiwasi pia na watoto wanaweza kuanguka. Kwa hivyo tunasisi serikali ya county ikamilishe especially ile ya Katrima na itengeneze hii nyingine ya Ngarashi.
A family in Kipkenda village, Kibendo area, Elgeyo Marakwet County, is mourning the death of two of their loved ones after a large rock fell from a hill and destroyed their home on the night of Sunday, November 2nd, 2025. Benson Chemwono's 67-year-old wife, Albina Kosgei, and their 12-year-old grandchild, Hamon Kiprono, died instantly after being buried under the rubble. The family is appealing to the government for help to start their lives anew after losing not only their loved ones but also their home.
Nilikuwa najua penye walikuwa nakaa na penye hiyo mawe imechimba ni hapo penye watu walikuwa. Nikasema wacha nitafute mtoto kwa sababu kuna penye alikuwa analala kando kidogo. Ndio nikapata sasa mtoto na nikajua hao wengine hawako tena. Kwa sasa akili yangu nyumbani ni kama haitakuwa mahali pa kuishi tena. Haitakuwa mahali pa kuishi. Kwa sababu ile yenye imetokea huko sio rahisi. Uweze chua mawe yenye iko huko juu inaweza toka tena wakati kane.
Ni hanging file yote mpaka hata Anin na Siroch wako na the same problem. So hii watu wangetolewa waende sehemu ya juu, alafu upande wa hanging file yote ikuwe conservation area, waweke tu miti blue gum yote. I think hatutakuwa na shida tena.
Now, the government is pushing ahead with plans to resettle nearly 1,000 families displaced by the 2007 post-election violence on 2 farms in Nakuru. The families currently hosted at the new Cannon Camp in Nakuru Town East are set to be moved to Kisimam and Ndonga farms. The Ministry of Lands has deployed surveyors to install beacons, starting with Kisima Farm in Njoro. The resettlement of 433 families on Kisima Farm is scheduled for this Saturday, with the exercise on Donya Farm to flow shortly.
Waende wagawe vile shamba inatakikana, watu ya kule Kisima. Watu familia zaidi ya 500 wanapata ekari 2. Kuna wale watu ambaye pia walikuwa ni squatters pale 45 wanapata ekari 1, na pia kuna wenzetu ambaye walikuwa pale wanapata I think quarter an acre.
That the government continues with the process of settlement of the IDPs on that parcel of land. Number 2, the court directed that if at all it is found to be true that the sale of that parcel of land to the government was unlawful in any manner, then the beneficiary would have recourse in following up with the administrator of that estate.
The municipality in Laikipia County is facing a serious solid waste management crisis, which has seen heaps of garbage lie uncollected on the streets for over 2 weeks now. Investors and locals have appealed for a permanent solution to the recurrent problem, noting that the situation endangers their health. The municipal manager, Anthony Rukwaro, revealed during an interview that the municipality was negotiating for a joint waste recycling project with an investor through public-private partnership to create more space for fresh waste disposal and prevent overflows that end up blocking the entry routes for the garbage vehicles.
Nimeshindwa kufungua kazi kwa sababu ya hii dustbin imenizuilia, sijafungua jana, leo na hata kesho sina upya kufungua kwa sababu customer wamepotea, hawakuli kwa sababu ya hii uchafu. Surely na license tunalipa on time. Hakuna sheria ya watu, yani atutii. Tunashindwa, kwani tukiuliza tunaambiwa gari hazina mafuta. Tunashindwa na tunalipa license, kwa nini gari hazina mafuta? Ningeomba tu county to consider juu tuko na watoto shule. Kwanza mimi nina mtoto second year na sijui nitalipa next semester na nini kukiendelea hivi.
Uchafu ni mingi, soko imejaa. Hadi ukiingia kwa street uchafu imejaa. Imekuwa ikiendelea for ini wiki kama wiki ya pili mfululizo, uchafu ichukuliwi. Na tunaenda public participation na tumeambiwa waste shida yake ni pesa haijapatana kwa municipal. So ambia tulikuwa governor wa Laikipia akuje atushughulikie shughuli. Tumekuwa tukipiga kelele sana, wanakuja siku moja wanachukua, lakini imezidi kuwa mingi.
Now, a 76-year-old man and his brother escaped death by a whisker after a mysterious fire gutted their 4-roomed houses in Mwimoto village, Kabete sub-county. The family alleged that the inferno may have stemmed from a long-standing dispute over the land on which the house is built. They are calling on the police to thoroughly investigate the incident and identify the suspects.
Even the fire service came here. It helped to distinguish this understanding.
Mimi naona moshi inatoka pande hii. Nikashindwa hii moshi inatoka wapi, na ni moshi tena imezidi. Nikaenda kuangalia kwa ndugu yangu. Kufika kwa ndugu yangu, kwa fukia kwa mlango tu namna hii, ile moto iko kwa nyumba. Hata singeweza kuingia. Mimi nilipiga nduru.
Nikapigiwa simu na dadagu. Nikambiwa kwa kwetu kuna chomeka. Na ndio nikaamuka usiku na nikakuja hapa. Wakati nilifika hapa nilikuta moto kubwa sana. Na nikakuta ndugu yangu ameshatolewa kwa nyumba na mwingine amejitoa na wote wameanguka pale kwa barabara.
Now here's the latest in the world of business. Kenya Association of Manufacturers has called on the government and other state actors to leverage on capacity building for small and medium enterprise to enhance their competitiveness against the larger businesses and facilitate their access to global markets. Speaking during the official opening of the 8th edition of the Changamka Festival at KICC, the association's chief executive Tobias Alando urged the small and medium enterprise to attend the 5-day festival, emphasizing that it presents an opportunity for networking, market access and explores growth opportunities within the Kenyan industrial sector.
Of course, just the general one to come and buy products, but also to have a conversation on how they can have partnership and distribute certain products here. So it's not more about just direct sales, but also business linkages and expansions. And also companies that are launching their different products are here to launch those products.
Awareness around SMEs is still low, and Kenyans still don't know that much about the SMEs. I mean, SMEs still have to compete with the bigger players and also with the foreign players. So I think raising awareness and raising capacity of SMEs and the new initiatives by government, creating county government industrial parks will be critical, because then you'll be able to go into any of these industrial parks and develop your product.
The Pest Control Products Board, PCBB, has seized a registered home and farm pesticide with a street value of 600,000 Kenya shillings in Embu, Meru and Tharaka Nithi counties. The operation is part of a nationwide crackdown aimed at ridding the country of illegal pesticides that have severe consequences for both human health and agricultural productivity. Speaking after the exercise in Embu, the General Manager in charge of compliance and enforcement, Lawrence Kalawa, expressed concerns over the proliferation of illegal pesticides, many of which are smuggled into the country. He said the products that are sold at cheaper price pose a grave danger as they may contain banned or toxic substances whose exposure can lead to harmful effects on users.
Kwa upande wa ukulima wa crops ni za counterfeits, zile zingine ambazo si registered nyingi ni kutoka upande ule tunaita public health products, na hizo tumepata jana ni na ile tunaita street value ya 600,000 Kenya shillings, na ninatangaza kwamba hii msako itaendelea, na kuna kikundi kwa hapa sehemu ya Embu, Tharaka Nithi na Meru, na kuna kikundi kingine ziko sehemu zingine za Kenya, na tunafuatilia wale watu ambao wanahusika na hii biashara ya ndawa haramu. Tutafika kwao hivi karibuni.
Kenya has become one of the first African countries to implement the 2024 Global Internal Audit Standards, a move aimed at boosting financial accountability and investor confidence across public institutions. Speakers at the annual seminar of the Institute of Internal Auditors Kenya called for independence and legal protection for internal auditors, saying their role is essential in curbing resource misuse and strengthening governance.
The new standards were adopted through a treasury circular on 27th September, aligning Kenya with global best practices. National Treasury Internal Auditor General Sami Kimongui said the shift will make audits more strategic, technology-driven, and proactive, targeting emerging risks such as cybersecurity and ESG compliance.
We are looking at internal audit functions that are more strategic, internal audit functions that are more proactive. They are more futuristic in terms of supporting entities in building strong risk management practices.
The 5-day seminar in Mombasa brought together more than 500 auditors, policymakers, and regulators to discuss the profession's evolving role amid the government zero audit policy and rollout of the electronic government procurement EGP system. IIA Kenya chairperson Lilian Wangeshi noted that the reforms will enhance transparency and position Kenya as a regional leader in corporate governance.
We are also here to discuss the internal audit perspectives on the new government policies, such as the zero fault audit, on how best internal audit functions can support the government's directive on zero fault by ensuring proactive auditing and tracking audit issues and risks before they escalate.
EACC chairperson Dr. David Oginde added that digitizing procurement could cut graft level, with about 80% of corruption cases currently linked to procurement processes.
For us, we do value the work of internal auditors because they provide the two key mandates that we have as a commission, one which is prevention. Prevention ensures that government resources are not lost.
Kenya's improvement in the Corruption Perception Index from position 133 to 121 signals a progress, but leaders urge continued reforms to safeguard public funds and strengthen trust in institutions.
Kenya is stepping up efforts to position itself as Africa's hub for digital energy transformation as the government deepens collaboration with global technology leader Huawei to modernize the country's power systems and accelerate clean energy adoption. Energy and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says Kenya's focus is shifting towards integrating cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence, smart grids and the Internet of Things to to create a more efficient, reliable and sustainable energy ecosystem.
Kenya's energy vision aims to harness both traditional and renewable sources through digital innovation, a move that aligns with the country's long-term development agenda and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal number 7, which seeks universal access to clean, affordable and modern energy by 2030. Wandai praised Huawei for its digital power solutions and smart grid technologies, which he said have played a significant role in improving energy efficiency, integrating renewables into the grid, and enabling the rise of smart cities across Africa.
Global energy systems are evolving, and countries across the globe are making bold choices to decarbonize, diversify, and digitize their economies. Innovations such as artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and the Internet of Things are already reshaping how we generate, distribute, and consume energy.
Samuel Cheng, Managing Director of Huawei Kenya's Enterprise Business Group, reaffirmed the country's commitment to supporting Kenya's digital energy journey, saying innovation and intelligence are key to powering future growth. Cheng highlighted Huawei's ongoing collaborations with local energy firms to deploy intelligent energy management systems and renewable integration technologies, which are helping Kenya build a more resilient and data-driven power infrastructure.
Kenya, as a hub for both economic and technological advancement in East Africa, stands at the forefront of an energy transformation. In this process, innovation, energy technologies, intelligent energy management, and the widespread adoption of green energy will provide strong support for the country's and region's sustainable development.
And in that, there are quite a number of services that come with it. And among those services, we use a lot of technology to ensure that we are at par with our customer expectations.
Now, members of the Swenga community in Mbobut Forest in Elgeyo Marakwet County have embarked on an initiative to revive traditional food systems that are healthy and climate resilient in a bid to mitigate an increase in chronic lifestyle diseases. The Sengwer Mbobut community-based organization joined the other stakeholders at the Sengwer Cultural Center for the launch of an agroecology project titled Roots of Sovereignty. The Sengwer Cultural Center will serve as a hub for sharing knowledge of food systems, enabling the youth to spread this information through technology.
Ya kwamba ni heri turutishe watu wetu wapate kukula utamu ya chakula na umuhimu ya chakula ya kitambo. Chakula ya kitambo ni chakula ambaye inachenga mwili, utakuwa na maisha marefu.
Sababu ya kuwaleta pamoja vijana, tunataka kurudisha ile chakula ya kitambo ambayo iko na uwezo wa kuistahimili kama jua inawaka, inaweza kuistahimili hiyo. Na pia vijana wako na uwezo ya kuweza kudocument ile seed sovereignty for food security and nutrition.
We are going to document it. We're going to write down. You can follow us on our pages and also our blog post of Hag Asida CBO, where we are going to write about food resilience, food system from the Sengwer, where what we've learned and what we know. And that is us passing a message to so many other people who haven't been here.
Now, farmers in Kitui County have been urged to plant drought-resistant crops as the upcoming rains are expected to be below average. Kitui Meteorological Director Daniel Mbithi, alongside indigenous technical knowledge farmers, has warned that weather forecasts point to minimal rainfall this season. Farmers in the region have been urged to adhere to all guidelines issued by the Meteorological Department to maximize their harvest despite the expected dry conditions.
Tumekuwa na utabiri wa kisayansi na tukasema ya kwamba hii mvua si mingi, kwa sababu yale mambo yako mwaka huu ni mambo ya La Nina, si El Nino, na bahari yetu bado iko baridi. Ile bahari ya Hindi ambayo inakaribia eneo letu la Kenya na Tanzania bado iko na baridi, hajakuwa na joto mingi ya kutosha.
Hivyo hii ni process ya muhimu sana kwa wakulima wetu, ndio wafuatilie ile maagizo wanaambiwa, ndio saa hii mvua itakuwa kidogo waweze kupanda the right crops, ile tunaita drought tolerant crops, na waweze kufanya mambo yenye itaweza kukua itavumilia ile mvua kidogo tunapata.
Hii niko kwa masomo nikielewa kama mvua sio mingi, tupande mbegu ile inalingana na mvua mdogo kama mawele, mtama, green peas, cassava na vile vinafanana na hizo, kwa maana mvua sio kubwa, ni dogo sana.
Mwache Dam in Kwale County is nearing completion, now 80% into construction, and is expected to provide over 186 million cubic meters of water, benefiting residents of Mombasa, Kwale and Kilifi counties, and also supporting irrigation. Principal Secretary for Water and Sanitation, Julius Korir, has acknowledged by the National Construction Authority for his efforts to restore humanity by spearheading the construction of the dam, a project that is set to transform the lives of thousands of residents in the coastal region.
We've been able to recognize public sector projects that have really transformed lives in our country, and of course the projects in the private sector where contractors have also performed excellently.
Recognized also from the water sector, the Mwache Dam, and going forward, we will be encouraging broad categories, including recognition for women.
Excellency.
We did know we were under observation. We did know that we were attracting attention, and it was a good surprise that our efforts in the delivery of this very crucial project from the coastal region was also being looked at as a candidate for recognition. So for us as a team, very grateful for this recognition.
Now here's the latest in the world of sports. 3 Kenyan athletes have been nominated into the Athlete of the Year awards as the countdown to the World Athletics Awards 2025 continues. The 3 include World Marathon Champion Peres Jepchirchir, World 800 meters champion Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Sebastian Sawe. The London Marathon and Berlin Marathon champion Frederick Mwoki has the details.
12 Athlete of the Year finalists have been confirmed as the countdown to the World Athletics Awards 2025 continues. 3 Kenyan athletes have made it to the final list. They include World Marathon Champion Peres Jepchirchir, World 800 meters champion Emmanuel Wanyonyi and Sebastian Sawe, the London Marathon and Berlin Marathon champion. Wanyonyi will battle it out with USA's Noah Lyles for the Men's Track Athlete of the Year.
Harris gets second. Wanyonyi, gun to tape, 1:41.87.
While Sawe will compete with Tanzania's Alphonse Simbu for the Men's Out-of-Stadium Athlete of the Year.
World champion is Peres Jepchirchir.
Peres Jepchirchir will battle it out with Spain's Maria Perez for the Women's Out-of-Stadium Athlete of the Year award. A final round of voting will now take place between 9th of this month to help select the overall Women's and Men's World Athlete of the Year. Frederick Mwoki for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, Njoroge Kibugu overcame a nervous start to claim victory at the 7th leg of the Sunshine Development Tour East Africa Swing held at the Vet Lab Sports Club. The win marked Kibugu's a record third title in the tour's inaugural season, cementing his position as one of Kenya's most consistent and promising players on the regional circuit. The Windsor Golf and Country Club professional who began the day tied for the lead with John Wangai endured a shaky opening stretch, dropping shots on the 1st, 5th and the 6th holes. However, the 21-year-old kept his composure, picking crucial birdies on the 8th and 9th to steady his round of turn. Champions League outcomes: Liverpool dominated Real Madrid to secure a crucial 1-0 victory yesterday night at Anfield, while defending champions Paris Saint-Germain were defeated 2-1 by Bayern Munich at Parc des Princes in Paris, France. Now, Alexis McAllister headed Dominic Szoboszlai's free kick after 61 minutes to give Liverpool the lead as Trent Alexander-Arnold started on the bench on his return to Anfield. Bayern Munich's Luis Diaz scored twice on the 4th and the 32nd minute against Paris Saint-Germain, as João Neves' bicycle kick on the 74th minute saw the game end 2-1 on the scoreline. Bukayo Saka's goal from penalty spot and Mikel Merino's 2 goals from the second half gave Arsenal a 3-0 victory against Slavia Prague. In other matches, 10-man Tottenham thrashed Copenhagen 4-0 to maintain their unbeaten start in the competition. Napoli settled for a goalless draw against Frankfurt.
Can he bring it down and finish this off? Chance, it's 2-0 on the bet. Comers, he might take it on. Oh, what a goal that is!
Join us in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Caroline Jeroge. Good afternoon for now.
Take this opportunity to welcome all Kenyans and our international visitors to the 3rd edition of the Ma Cultural Week celebration that happens annually. This year's motto is promoting Ma cultural expressions for socio-economic development, and the venue is slated for Amboseli National Park in Kajiado County. And it is an all-system go. All the preparations are on course. This is supported by our county governments and the national government as well. And we'll be hosting, the president will be attending the occasion. So we welcome you, Kenyans and our international visitors to Amboseli to celebrate with us the iconic Ma culture.
This year, we're going to celebrate our Ma culture in Kajiado at Amboseli National Reserve, promoting Ma cultural expression for socio-economic development.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Ma Sintai Orgeretilang.
Kijo Ma Sintai Orgeretilang. Karibuni boke.
Ma Sintai Orgereti Lang.
The Far East, the Middle East, the West, and even the African continent, all are welcome. Ma Sintai Orgereti Lang. Ma Sintai Orgereti Lang.
Ma Sintai Orgereti Lang.
Hujambo mpenzi mtazamaji, natumai ubuheri wa afya. Ni wiki nyingine tunakutana hapa katika kipindi chetu cha Mkulima, tukiwa tayari kujifunza mbinu tofauti za kilimo pamoja na teknolojia zinazoimarisha afya. Mimi ni wako Boniface Mutunga. Karibu. Mkulima, leo hii tuko hapa Juja Farm na kiini cha kuja hapa ni kuzungumza na mkulima ambaye anafuga mbuzi wa kisasa wa maziwa. Na kiini ni kutaka kujua anafaidikaje na pia anachangiaje katika utoshelezi wa chakula katika taifa la Kenya. Karibu Jen.